I call upon the elders and the children of God to guide us to that information that you know is the very best and the highest for us that can be given. These things we ask in the presence and in the name of our dear brother, the Christ. I thank you, Father. Amen. As we begin herein, we release the channel, and those with ye accordingly to their will. O Lord God, as we come before Thee, we do so with joy and peace all about us. It is Thine, O Lord, and ever do we claim this, and claim Thee. Imagine for a moment, dear friends, that you are consciousness and that you have only this one awareness, that you are at peace and that you are. So much, so many experiences become ours, and we move with ease, such ease that we have heretofore not known, and we move as though we are the Father's Word. In that manner do we move. And then, after many, many experiences, we move into the All, and we become our uniqueness, and that which united us in completeness is now at rest, and the Shining One moves over that we can see He and our brethren. And He comes forward with His colleagues in their brilliance and light, and we admire them, and He asks of the Shining One, I see you now as I have not seen you before, sweet brother. You are, in that way, so beautiful. The presence of the Father within you brings light to you, and He turns, and we look upon each other, and we see this light, and the Shining One smiles. You see, what you see is what you know, and when you do not know yourself, then what you see reflects to you what you are. And he moves, extending himself to the Shining One, and the Shining One embraces him, and they become one. We feel the love they are sharing, and then they call to us, and we become one with them. And we hold this so dear to us. It is that the Father wishes us to know each other as we know Him. We rest in the wonder of this discovery, and the Shining One moves all about us, touching, knowing us, and allowing us to know He. And then peace cometh. We do not know how many experiences have been known during that time when we took up the peace and made it ours. But we are aware that we can know this in just an intention to do so. But we savor this time, this space, this experience, for it is creating unto itself something of magnificence that we know shall ever be ours to share. And we ask the Shining One, may we go and share this with the others? And we hear his laughter. You have already shared it with them. However, what you ask is, can you bring the knowing of it? Can you bring the knowing of it to them? It is the knowing that stirs within you. We look at each other in wonder, for we understand what he, our glorious brother, means. And then he saith unto the Shining One, with a bit of laughter and lightness, it must be their choice to know it. It is so correct. And the Shining One laughs in return. Well done, my brother, it is so. And he saith unto the Shining One, on behalf of we, all of us, you have taken something of the Father's gifts and made it your own in a manner that is so exquisitely beautiful. And the Shining One asks, it can be yours as well if you seek it. And he saith unto the Shining One, this I know within, but I also know that it is meant for you. to doeth these things. And I say to you, on behalf of all of us, I speak for them as well. We are ever with you. We observe our brothers and sisters in no place, building upon that which they, together with the Father, have brought into being, and we see them upon the surface of the being, bringing forth that which is within them, and looking upon it, and choosing that it shall be or not be, and we observe them, but we do not become one with them, for we feel that this is their choice, and the Shining One has taught us well these many beautiful things that the Father has given for us to come to know and to see. And so we see them together, and we look in that which they call upwards, and look upon the beauty of that which the Father has brought with them to shine upon them. It is as His own light, His own warmth of love that shineth upon this being, and we know its goodness. And then there comes upon this being the passage of the light to the embrace of something that at first knowing recalls to us the beauty of the all. But here and there are these beautiful reminders of our uniqueness upon the all, shining, glowing, each one unique and beautiful, and we know with He that these are things that shall be, and forms of being that are growing in their wonder, and we look into them, and this which is the above, and we feel the beauty and wonder as we in our completeness move and soar in between, looking upon them, knowing them, and laughing with them as they bring to us some good cheer here and there. And we feel the meanings that so many of these seek to give to us, and they remind us of our knowings. We revel in the beauty and majesty of that which they, our Father and they, have brought into knowing, and we experience it, and we know its beauty and magnificence. We give to each of these our love, and we feel it reflected back to us. And we laugh and dance around each of these as we feel them respond. beautiful. We turn back to the place that is, and we come onto it and we see the brethren now creating all about, and wondrous creations that at first we know not, for they are from deep within, these of our brethren's knowing, and we are at peace with their choices and their wishes. And then with the Shining One before us, we move upwards through the elements, and we see that others of our brethren have come to these different elements, and we look upon them and we give to them our love, and we ask them, "Are you doing a work here?" And they laugh with us, and then we know them and know their intention. They know these individual elements to be good, and they have chosen to dwell in the goodness of them. And so we move to another element and find it just so, and another, and then we see and know that each of the elements have brought about a reflection of the elemental uniqueness onto these of our brethren. And it is curious to us, for the uniqueness of some of these brethren have taken on the uniqueness of that individual element in which they dwell. We pause for a time, for he comes with his brethren and asks of the Shining One, "What do our brethren do here, O Shining One?" And he answers, "Know that for yourself." And so he does. And then he turns to the Shining One, again smiling. Will they find their way? And the Shining One changes for a moment, then becomes as he was. They have not chosen, thus I cannot know it, lest I violate the order of knowing. And something passes through us, and the Shining One feels it as well. And so we call to the Father, and the Shining One speaks, "Father, is this as we know it?" And the Father smiles a bit and answers with a gentle, gentle whisper of a voice, "It is." And before he can ask the Father, the Shining One thanks the Father, and the Father moves back within each of us, and we pause and become one, and then we find the peace, and we begin to move in our completeness, element upon element, as beautiful layers of unique color and energy, and so much more. It is as though they have taken portions of the Father's word and brought those into focus here, using the beautiful colors in their individuality, and each causes a resonance within us that is unto itself unique. And then we begin to laugh and dance and celebrate as we come finally to our heaven place, and we look upon one another with gladness, and we feel the love and compassion that we have embraced in no place with. And for many, many experiences, we move about in the heaven and see the beauty of it, and we see the Father and something that He has given unto us to place here. It is His sweetness and His love, and it is expressed into a new being that washes all through us, and we feel the goodness of it, and for a moment, just a moment, all of our experiences have been taken, washed from us, so to say, by this thing from the Father. And so we laugh with our new lightness and our joy, and we say to the Shining One, "Oh, they shall love this place when they come to it," and the Shining One agrees with us, and we celebrate all the more, and our experiences come back to us in our fullness, and we hold the wonder of all that we know before each other, and we take of it and know it as the other knows it, until we are completely one. And our laughter fills our oneness, and a delightful thing occurs. We begin to move, we soar out from the heaven place into consciousness, and we can see that we are creating long radiant spires of our laughter, glistening, glowing, and creating a beautiful sound as we go, soaring with joy and peace throughout creation. And then it happens. One of our brethren comes before us and speaks in a curious way. "You bring here the joy of the Father." "Indeed," we answer, "the joy of the Father is in our completeness." And we ask of him, "What do you experience here?" And he smiles unto us. "I experience you, and I am here for you." "What do you do?" he asks of him. "I do with you as you do." And we look upon one another, and we ask the Shining One, "Do you know this one, our brother?" And the Shining One smiles and nods. Then the Shining One leaves our completeness and goes on to him, to embrace him mightily. And we hear their joy, and, wonder of wonders, we feel the presence of the Father growing and growing. And there he is. And he comes to embrace these two, stroking them, and touching them, and they he. And then they all come to us, and we do the same, and we become one. And after many experiences, he asks of the Father, "How is it, sweet Father, that we know it not in our completeness, this brother?" And the Father laughs gently, "You know him, but you know him not, because you have not called him." "Called him?" he asks. "I do not know your intention, Father." And the Father reaches across and touches him, and suddenly he begins to laugh and vibrate, but ever so gently. He is honoring this brother in a very special way. And we have many experiences, for the most part, as we watch. Then the Father saith this unto us, of this our brother: "He has chosen to be here for you in my name. As I am within you, then he is also with you. But if there is that which you cannot meet in that which you bring forth, and you wish to build an understanding and make a way passable through it, then you can call upon this your brother, and he will show you the way." There came then many discoveries and awarenesses that we began to share with one another, learning as we so did that we could grasp the consciousness of our experience in such a manner so as to reflect it to others, that they could then gift our experience with their own. And we journeyed, and we oft visited this guardian whom we love with all that we are. And we came again, after many, many experiences, to commune with the Shining One. And then he asked of him, "How is it with our brethren in the No Place?" And many came to gather, for the bonds of oneness between us we know to be eternal, and this knowing called to each that the sharing might be a complete one. The Shining One saith unto us, who will be complete with I and my colleagues? And we answered as one, we shall. And in the blessing that followed, we saw our Father come unto the center of our being, and we shared love with one another, and He gave us His beautiful smile, that we might hold this and carry it and let it be in the no place. We gave much attention to our completeness as we passed through the elements, exploring them, knowing them, and each of us in our own uniqueness building understanding of these. Here and there we sought to call out to a brethren. Some looked upon us with a smile of warmth and love and a greeting. Others looked about as we passed by, but we were curious that they knew us not. We engaged the no place in our completeness and saw the goodness. The Shining One guided us all about to feel that which was being created of the nature of the individual's beauty. And we saw these things and gave from our Father's smile a light of greeting and blessing. Many who received this looked about. Some paused carefully, and they closed their eyes and became in oneness. But we could not understand why we could not be complete with them. He asked the Shining One, and we all focused our consciousness into a completeness that we all might know and understand in that same manner. And the Shining One saith unto us, they journey. We look to one another that we might understand this journey of separateness. In our experience as we shared this together, we had not known such. And so the colleagues of the Shining One came and gathered us up closer, that our completeness would be in harmony with these our brethren in the no place. The more the Shining One explained their journeys, the more we felt it growing again, until we reached out to each other in a new way. Each of us touched the other, that the smile of the Father could be shared and renewed. And the Shining One too paused and gave no more, for he could see and feel that thing growing. So we became one and called to the Father, and he answered with his sweetness, "Take my peace, my children, and hold it before you in all things. For as you come to know that which you know not, let my peace empower you, that you might transcend in the same joy as you are within ever." He asks of the Father, and beside him the Shining One, is it that they wish this separateness, Father, in such a way that we must give up our love with them? The Father touched him so gently we could all feel it, within and without. Our experiences reverberated with the color of his word and the sounds and beauty of he. Understand, my son, glancing from he to the Shining One, who nodded with ever so slight a smile, that this is their pathway of choice, and so as I honor their choice, you as well must do the same. For here, this entire place, I have given a blessing of my word, because they have sought it, and so now I give to you, all of you, each of you, the same blessing. It is not a love that is lost or gone from you. It is a love that is seeking to better know itself, that in the knowing of itself and its own uniqueness, as I have gifted each of you with, the wish is within each of them that thereafter they can bring this, and we all can know it as they do. But as they search, give them your love and your peace, and be joyful for them. Some of us felt that thing as though it were rattling about like discordant color and sound, and the Father watched us with a smile and clearly understanding. You are coming to know the structure of the no place, as you have called it, and it is the structure of intention, the intention of all your brethren and others who know of the no place and who are being, even as I am speaking to you, drawn towards it. Listen, look and see and know. Feel their intention to be a part of this. And we do feel it, we do see it, like rivulets of our Father's beautiful colors, tiny rivulets flowing. We can see them, hear them, feel them passing by. Are they gifting our brethren here with your word, Father? In a manner so as you understand this, yes, but even greater than this, he answers him. And that thing continues to rattle about. Some look this way and that, and the Father smiles upon us and saith this: My peace is with you, sweet children. Look upon these things and build understanding, and know them as ye would, and if ye choose not, then that is my gift to you, so as it is illuminating you within, then I am with you to share it, and if it does not, then go in peace and be about that which brings the joy of my word into being within you. And the Father's presence begins to be covered over with his beautiful light and color. We touch this and feel it. We love it so. Some gather up portions and take it within their being, and we look upon this with joy and laughter, for they create with it, using their own experiences in a manner of speaking, as tools to fashion and shape the color. The Shining One speaks very softly, so as not to disturb this, and calls to us to look out at our brethren, and to feel them, to know them. And he asks, will we not disturb them? Will we not do as the Father said we should not? And the Shining One smiles with a light of understanding. Remember that he said, continue to give them your love and peace, and this makes you possible to know them without any disruption to their choice. And as we do this, we discover that much of what we see in some of our grouping here in the completeness seems to be very similar to what these our brethren are doing in the No Place on their journeys. Shining One knows, and in his knowing he calls us to strengthen our completeness and to depart now straight away, and without a moment we feel the effect of the elements as we pass through them, each one glorious in their unique expression. We see others of our brethren very, very busy in some of these elements. Others seem to be in a complete state of rest. We ponder this, but we now know what the Shining One has known, that some in our grouping no longer choose this, and so we must depart and keep our completeness intact until we have made passage through the elements. We burst onto the heaven place in a thunderous expression of light and color. Beautiful, dazzling, the array of combinations of sound and light, color, touch all of us so deeply that we feel certain that our Father is here feeling and experiencing this with us. And then the gifts of the Father manifest, and we find a calm, a peacefulness, a sense of very, we know not what to call it. It is that which is our Father, and yet we do not see him. We cannot touch him, but he is here. And the Shining One gathers us together to say, this is our Father's eternal gift to us all, whether within the no place or in the greatest distant experience. This is that which with we can ever be. And we can choose that being, just as our brethren have chosen their journeys and their busy choices. Come here, brethren, who have felt that thing, and we watch as a number of them step forward, and we feel that curious thing. But he tells us, feel that which is the Father, that which is not the Father's form, but his being, as the Shining One has told us is ever with us. And he goes about and makes certain with each of us that we feel it and know it within. And then we know it together, and it is our Father's living light. And we love this. It brings peace. It brings a knowing that all things are right, that all things are in the glory of our Father. And so the Shining One is somehow working with our brethren who are troubled to varying degrees by the thing. We hear them communicating. Can you give it form, dear sister, dear brother? Can you give this thing a form? They look at one another, and each gives to the other that which is their energy, their color, their sound, their vibration of creation. And we are dazzled by the brilliance of what they share and make together, becoming one to know and express the thing. And there it is. Many of us move back a bit, as though there is no wish that this thing moves into us, for we see the colors and hear the sound, and it is a vibration that we have only subtly known that which we have called the thing. The Shining One, with the thing expressed between he and now a number of our brothers and sisters who have joined the first sister and brother, are encircling the thing. And he turns to us and speaks. Look upon this thing, and let it be as it is. Let it be unto itself, and unto itself complete. And know your choice of it, and seek that choice ever when you encounter this thing, for see within it so many of the potentials, the facets of the colors, even though misshapen and dulled, are yet there, and see that it could call to you. So know the truth within, and hold this truth that of the thing cannot distort who and what you are. The Shining One has, of course, heard and known this, and we hear his consciousness speak to us. Hear, my brother, well, for this that thou knowest is unto itself, in the order of things as it might now be known, build understanding that this has come from the no place, and we shall not keep it here. But know it well, for it is that which seeks to be unto itself separate, and wishes others to join with its separateness, and be that which is not as an act that is. And he pauses in his communication, for what seems to be lots of color and sound moves by us, and then we hear him again. It is that which is, but it is not, and therefore it is of the no place. It is that which can be used to create, but that creation cannot endure here any longer. And he turns to focus upon the thing, and curiously he begins to surround it with his brilliant light, as only the Shining One can. We marvel at this, for it begins to move, and slowly at first, and now very swiftly, as only a line of distorted light moving back through the elements and into the no place. And we know it not. It is not. We look about in wonder, and the Shining One motions to us to become complete with him and his brethren. Know this now, dear brothers and sisters, that the Father's word lives throughout all that is and all that is not. For there is not that is not of the Father. This you have known. But this thing, as you have called it, is the illusion, and that illusion is within the no place, that those who wish to use it and create with it can do so to build the greater understanding and blessing unto themselves and others. Slowly at first, and we can see he is contemplating this, he comes before the Shining One, and in a straight, sure communication he saith, and we cannot hear him, and so we secure our completeness and our oneness, and then we hear him. Is it not possible, sweet brother, that these of our brethren could become complete within the illusion, in the sense their belief of the illusion could make it so? The Shining One saith back, I think it not so, that always there is that light, see, that which is the Father here in the heaven place, that the Father is ever there within them, and it is only their choice of the illusion that would make them, as you say, a part of it. He studies the Shining One carefully and knows his communication, and then smiles and embraces the Shining One. He gathers his brethren, and we love each other completely, and then they, together with the Shining One, move back to the cloak of God. We are exhilarated. We are no longer separate. The consciousness and uniqueness of our being has formed into the completion that flows with the word of our Father. And though we are one, our uniqueness receives this, each of us, in our own manner, in our own blessing. And we come to know and understand that we can know as our brethren have chosen, and we can journey just so in the manner as our sweet brethren have chosen to journey. But our love is complete, and it grows as we journey in the living essence of our Father, which we have come to call His life itself, the life of God moves with us. Bring yourselves into wholeness now, into your bodies and minds and spirits, as you express yourself wherever you are. Our Father's peace and joy are always with you, and know that His wisdom, His love, and His oneness with you is ever there, right where it has always been and always shall be.